This is problem number 1 for assessment number 4. In this problem it says, for the given functions, find the domains and ranges of f, g, f plus g, and f times g. Let's start with f. So what's the domain and range of f? Well, how do you find the domain of a radical function? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the inside of the radical, and we're going to say that it has to be greater than or equal to 0, because you can't take the radical of a negative number and get a real number. So that means that x has to be greater than or equal to, when you subtract it, negative 9. So our domain then is negative 9 to infinity, including negative 9. Now the range of that function, when I plug in negative 9, I get negative 9 plus 9, which is 0. So the root of 0 is 0, so my range is actually 0 to infinity, because 0 is the smallest value I can get when I take the radical of some number and get a real number, that is. So now let's do part g, and part g is going to be very similar. So the function g is its domain. It's going to be the root of negative 4, so the root of x minus 4, and I want to set x minus 4 greater than or equal to 0. I add the 4 over and I get x greater than or equal to 4, meaning 4 to infinity is the domain for the function. What's the range for the function? Well, the range of this function is also going to be 0 to infinity, just like the one above, because when I plug in 4, I get 4 minus 4, which is 0. So I get 0 to infinity for a range as well. Now for f plus g, we end up with, we'll just write this out. This is root x plus 9 plus root x plus 4. What's the domain here? Well, the domain is going to be the least restricted domain, because we still have two radicals in here. Which one's the least the most restricted? Well, the most restricted domain is 4 to infinity. Right? This function is from 4 to infinity. This one's from negative 9 to infinity. 4 to infinity is inside this. So this is the most restricted domain that we have to go with. So the domain for this is 4 to infinity, because this root x plus 4 is in f plus g, the f plus g function. What's the range then? Well, to find the range, I just take the smallest x value, plug it in. And when I take the smallest x value and plug it in, I end up with, and I wrote this wrong. This should be x minus 4. That's my bad. X minus 4. So when I plug 4 in, I get 4 minus 4, which is 0. And I plug 4 in over here, I get 4 plus 9, which is 13. So I end up with root 13 plus 0, which is root 13. So the range goes from root 13 to infinity. Now we do f times g. F times g is going to be root x plus 9 times root x minus 4. Now the domain is going to stay the same, because again, we still need the most restricted domain, which is 4 to infinity. But the range here is going to be slightly different, because now when we plug in 4, we get 4 minus 4, which is 0. 4 plus 9, which is still root 13. 0 times root 13 is 0. So this ends up being 0 to infinity again for the range.